Hey, this is Jeff from Atomic Gamer, and you're watching a video review of The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. Skyrim comes from Bethesda Game Studios, the developers behind Oblivion and Fallout 3, which many consider to be their respective games of the year from 2006 and then 2008. Skyrim may not solve every single problem that Bethesda's previous games have had, but it does address most of the issues, and with all the new stuff to do and the new lands to explore, this is really a true follow-up and yet also so much better than the previous games. The whole thing takes place in the province of Skyrim, and it's 200 years after the events of Oblivion, so you don't really need to have played any previous Elder Scrolls games to get into this. What Bethesda has done is created a much more cohesive environment for its characters and monsters and creatures to live in. The biggest improvement has been with the NPCs. They look better, they move more naturally, and they talk more sensibly. They fit into the world better than what we're used to from Bethesda. Now, while Skyrim is labeled as an RPG, it's really an action RPG, and what that means is that if the action is dull or the RPG systems are a little shallow, then the game's going to be kind of a disappointment. But that's not the case with Skyrim. Some of the RPG systems that we've been used to in previous Elder Scrolls games have been sort of simplified or streamlined here, but it's been done in very smart ways, and the new addition of perks that are added to every single skill really helps add a lot of depth. Some of these perks have multiple tiers where you're just sort of increasing the damage you dish out and reducing the damage you take, but other ones give you special abilities and other things like that that you'll need in your adventures. And those adventures are pretty exciting because combat has been improved in Skyrim in many ways over a lot of other open-world RPGs. Bethesda put together a lot of new technology for this game. They call it the Creation Engine. And with it comes a whole new animation system that really makes combat feel more realistic and more solid. But there's more than that, because now you've got execution-style finishing moves, you can dual-wield weapons and spells and shields and staves and all these things, and you can mix and match what you want to hold in your hands and fight with. Then you combine that with the new dragon shouts, which are on a separate button for you to use, so now you've actually got a third way to sort of attack or defend yourself if you want to. And speaking of dragons, those are the new villain in Skyrim. The whole story is revolved around them and how your character is the Dragonborn, the only person known in hundreds of years that is able to fight and kill the dragons. Some of your encounters with dragons are going to be scripted sort of parts of the story, but then other times you actually just come across them out in the world, and it's up to you sometimes whether you want to fight them or not. Sometimes they attack you, sometimes you've got to get their attention. And the fights with dragons are really exciting. You've got to be careful of the terrain, you've got to watch out for which spells or shouts they're using against you, and the sort of damage you're going to be taking, as well as the damage you need to dish out against them. And while getting the killing blow on a dragon may not be terribly epic, especially considering that the best place to fight a dragon is, well, standing at his wings rather than at his face where he can bite you, you may not wind up seeing too many of the dragon execution cutscenes that you can get. But it doesn't matter, because once you get the kill, the dragon's body just sort of burns away. The scales and flesh melt, leaving this skeleton behind and a soul for you to absorb. And you do it in such an awesome way that it just looks so much better than what we've seen out of most boss kills in other RPGs. And with the souls you collect from dragons, you can go and unlock new dragon words and shouts, which give you all kinds of cool new abilities. Some of them allow you to speed up your weapons, others allow you to breathe fire or ice, but some of them are a little more utility-oriented. You can actually control the weather or become invincible, which really helps when you want to go jump off a cliff or something like that. But what really makes them fun and useful is the fact that they're on a separate button, so you can unleash these shouts while you've got weapons and spells and shields and staves equipped in your hands. Bethesda's put a ton of effort into making Skyrim pretty much the best-looking game they've ever made. Everything has a much more handcrafted and natural feel to it. You'll see Tamriel's version of Aurora Borealis out in the skies at night. There are dragonflies hanging out around the lakes, and you can actually catch them and collect their wings to make potions from. But the cities also look much more organically crafted, rather than something that was just slapped together in an editor for a video game. One of the things that Bethesda's Todd Howard said in a recent trailer is that they wanted to make the sort of ultimate assassin game, as well as the ultimate combat game, the ultimate magician wizard game, the ultimate dragon fighting game. And in a lot of ways, they actually pretty much have done that. But it's not just about all the big things that you do in the game. There's all kinds of little things to see and do, and they really help make Skyrim better than the sum of its parts. The review copy of the game that Bethesda sent me was on 360, and it does a pretty good job. It's got anti-aliasing, it's got a pretty solid frame rate, it's got those huge, wide-open vistas that you expect from a Bethesda game, and as long as you have Skyrim installed to your hard drive, you're going to see pretty short load times, and they only come when you're moving between indoor and outdoor spaces, or into and out of the major cities in the game. And while it won't have some of the really cool whiz-bang features that the PC version will have, like the better textures, the modding and stuff like that, this is still one of the best looking 360 games you'll see this year. And while the texture quality isn't exactly amazing or the special effects aren't terribly impressive, the overall package, it just looks so clean and crisp and huge and epic. Skyrim is pretty much guaranteed to be my game of the year for 2011. It's got great action, it's got deep RPG systems, it has wonderful visuals, and a fantastic soundtrack by composer Jeremy Soule, who did the music for the previous 2 Elder Scrolls games. Here and there I did find a few flaws, repetitious dialogue, sometimes some weird or strange animations, people having a conversation through a door, a closed door that is. But I had a hard time caring so much because every time I saw something iffy or weird, 2 minutes later I'd see something amazing that I'd really never seen in a video game before. While this is not a totally perfect game, it is close enough. Atomic Gamer gives The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim a 10 out of 10.